Hi, welcome to learnhowtogarden.com. In today's episode on the 10-Minute Gardener, we're going to be planting dwarf French beans. If you're not already subscribed to us at Learn How to Garden, there's a link directly above the film. Click on that, takes you over to the website, input your email address. That means you get our free monthly newsletter, you get to see what courses and lectures we do, and it also means that every single time we put up a new film, we can let you know. If you want to grow beans but you don't have a lot of space, if you're in a small urban garden, if you've got a small vegetable bed and you want to grow them as part of that bed, growing the really tall beans will give you a problem. But dwarf French beans are fantastic. They're only going to grow about this high. They may support themselves, although to be brutally honest, I do tend to put a few pea sticks in the bed to support them. And they're one of the things that you can actually utilise to grow things in harmony with something else. And the ones that we're going to grow are these Mont d'Or. They are a fantastic, bright, golden yellow. And we're going to crop them when they're only 2 to 3 inches long. And all I'll do then is throw them into a pan really quickly with some olive oil and garlic for about 3 to 4 minutes. Put a tiny bit of stock with them, and then I'll serve them up with a salad, and they will squeak when you eat them. My sons used to refer to them as squeaky beans. After the 10th of May, you could sow them directly into this bed. If you were going to do that, you would actually sow them about 2 inches deep, about 4 inches between the actual plants, and about a foot between the rows. But I've always preferred to start all of my beans off in small modules. Now, these are very, very small, shallow modules, which is all I really need because the beans aren't going to be in them that long. They've got some multi-purpose compost in. And all I do is put 2 of these beans into each module, about a thumbnail depth, about 1 inch. When I plant these out, what I will do is plant the module slightly deeper in the soil, so that there's probably 1/2 inch to 1 inch of soil around the stem of this bean. The reason I start my beans off in modules is because they're most susceptible to slugs when they are just emerging, and also it means I don't get, he says, throwing beans all over the bed, I don't get gaps in this very, very small bed in my mum's garden. So it's actually just easier for me to control them. All I'll do now is water those well in, and in about 10 to 15 days they'll germinate, and in about 20 days they'll be ready to plant out into this bed. But what I'm going to do now is actually mark out the rows, which are 12 inches between them. And what I will do then is between those rows I'm going to plant some radish, and that's another film I'll do in a second. And the reason for that is that as these beans grow, they will fix nitrogen and they will actually make the radish grow better, but we'll crop that radish out before the beans are big enough. The other thing we'll be doing is actually covering the bed with a very, very light covering of coffee grounds, again to deter slugs and to just give about 2% of free nitrogen into the bed so that we get really good early growth for those beans. And that's really all there is to planting dwarf French beans. The yellow ones, like I say, are one of my favourites. They tend to also be known as haricot beans. You can get green ones as well, you can even get purple ones, but when you cook the purple ones you will lose the colour. When you cook the yellow ones you won't. For children I've found that it's a great way of getting them to eat beans if they're a bit unsure about them. Thanks a lot for watching Learn How to Garden.